and I have nothing, and then become somebody to them. Okay,
To them.
but it's still nothing. I still.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
It's 1 o'clock in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And this is...
Let's talk Venezuelans.
Hey, David.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
How you been?
Hola.
Okay, how's your isolation?
Non-existent.
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 Yes, we have
Well,
to...
you know, I'm taking this like a Passover. This is the first time in history, if you notice, it's the first time in history that every country shut down for Passover. Only God can do something like this. Could you believe that? Huh? Pascua, we call it, the Christian call it Pascua. The Jews call it Passover, right? But we're almost celebrating, you know, in a different ways, but almost celebrating the passing over. And now with this COVID-19, I believe this week, the COVID-19 is going to be the end of this sickness. We are claiming for the blood that we put in around our doors, you know, like in the past.
In the ancient
time with Pharaoh and Moses, the angel of the dead passed over the houses of the Jews, and they were delivered from not only from the dead, but they were delivered for freedom.
Yep.
They became free, a free people,
yes.
a free people. Okay, we are declaring the same thing for the United States. This COVID is going to be dead this week by the blood. Period.
Period.
That's it. Whatever way you want to take it, Passover or Pesach. I mean, Passover, Pesach, or Pascua. Whatever way you want to take it, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Done deal.
Yeah. So
this country has something incredible. You know, this country reinvents itself every time there is a crisis.
Oh yeah, we're gonna overcome this.
Yeah, and you see it how the free companies change their line of production in order to be in the supply. You know, so everything is it's a little bit harsh because when you go to the supermarkets, you don't find exactly what you want, but there is not a problem with supply. Okay, I went to the supermarket.
No, if you're looking for mayonnaise and you cannot find mayonnaise, you can buy the pink one.
Yeah, exactly. But you find a lot of things. So there is no need to buy nervous buying. You know,
no, we are not in Venezuela. No, definitely, we are not in Venezuela.
And a lot of and these people from the supermarkets, like the people from the medical field, are real heroes. You know, they are restocking the things during the late nights. You know, because the shelves are empty, and they refill the empty shelves during the late night or early morning.
Yes.
You know, and so there are also people who has to be recognized, because thanks for them we have our houses with all the things that we need. Okay.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay. Now.
Okay, we're gonna talk about very quickly about the COVID-19. One of the bad news is that big cities like Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, they are reporting a 70% death of the black communities. Okay, so that's a bad thing about it. But if you notice, I mean, like New York and those cities, Los Angeles, if you notice, we go back to January. What happened in January with those leaders in those cities?
The leaders, they refused to close the schools, for example. One of the most responsible ones is Mr. De Blasio, the mayor of New York City, that he said on the beginning of March that we only have 25 people sick in a city of 9 million, blah blah blah, and he was very irresponsible on that.
As well with a healthcare person in charge too.
Yes,
I believe she resigned, right?
She resigned already, okay. And the other one that was very irresponsible was Mr. Cuomo, the governor of New York, and eventually, those things. They have to pay it in the ballots.
Oh yes.
Okay?
Yeah, another person who's responsible for all this crisis is Pelosi.
Yes.
Pelosi, because Pelosi, after the State of the Union address, remember?
Yeah.
The President Trump, he talked in the
talked
address
about this virus. He said that the federal government were
working,
was preparing for all this situation, and the politicians, as they used to do, they just said,
they didn't care about that.
They didn't care about.
Well, he was talking about while he was talking in the when he was addressing the union about the COVID, the infectious viruses in China. In China, the United States was working closely with them to help them out. She was checking on the papers. She didn't put attention to what he was talking about. So, and you know what happened at the end of the address.
She destroyed the address, and now she wanted a second. The
impeachment number 2.0, 2.0 version. So that is just a distraction for the second point that we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. The distraction for that is the HR they are promoting on the floor of the House. The HR 5383.
What's that?
The H3
HR is the House of Representatives. Proposal for a law.
And the name of the law is the New Way Forward Act.
The New Way Forward Act.
Yeah.
Okay.
This bill will basically destroy completely the Homeland Security Department completely, because they will restrain the ICE, and the Immigration and Customs Service. Yes. Okay. They will tie up their hands because they will not be able to do their job when it comes to people coming to the country.
Okay. ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It's one of the polices specialized on immigration.
Yes.
And they are the one on charge on people who are out of the borders inside of the United States. The other one is the Border Patrol. Okay, and in both cases, this law restrain a lot.
Will overrule.
They are overrule the authority and the function of on all those institutions.
Yes,
okay, and how they do that.
Okay, this representative, the Democrat representative from Illinois, Illinois, always Illinois. His name is Jesus Garcia.
But
He's well known.
Illinois is not at the border in the south border. It's
no, it's over there in the north, where Chicago is.
Okay.
And you know who came from Illinois? Come on. And then Jesus Garcia, who everybody knows him as a Chugo Garcia. He's he inherit the position that Perez used to have before, the one who was in charge of the DNC. Remember that guy who is living now in Puerto Rico, and he's working in Puerto Rico to destroy everything over there, and probably he's going to become one of the leaders in Puerto Rico.
He wants to be governor.
Exactly. Yeah, in Puerto Rico. So this one took his place, and he's the one who introduced this bill, and he got 44 representatives co-sponsoring him. The first one is Pramila Jayapal from Washington, and both of them are the one who introduced it. She's in charge of the Immigration and Naturalization Committee inside of the.
So we have the vultures. We have the vultures taking care of the meat.
Yes,
Oh my.
exactly.
Oh
So
my.
let me tell you a few names of people who are supporting this. Is Ayana Pressler, Rashida
my.
Tlaib, is
Okay.
Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Frederica Wilson, and guess who? Hen Johnson.
Oh really?
Hen Johnson, yeah, from
Hank
Georgia.
Johnson.
He's supporting this. He wants to abolish completely what we know, eliminate the detention for illegal immigration, impose new taxes on the immigration. Of course, we have to end up paying for more.
So
the-
if somebody that is legal and is paying taxes every year has to pay more if he wants or she wants to be American citizen.
Yes, exactly.
Oh
And not only
my.
that, the statute of limitation for this will go for 5 years back.
So-
If they
so-
pass it now, it will go retroactive 5 years ago. So anyone who was deported under the President Trump will be bringing back to United States. That's one other part of the bill, is to bring back all those people so they have the right
with,
to be here.
with your money and mine.
Yeah,
With
immigration.
your money,
and
my dear David.
and they will have the right to fight these cases back in court here. And not only that, because they were deported, we have to pay for the flight, we have to pay for the national security, homeland security,
So-
which is, they're getting paid by our taxes.
And they
They
want
will pay
and they want a room in the Hyatt Regency or something like that.
Okay, the amendment for removal is gonna be, and it's gonna be giving a relief for retroactive.
Oh
That means
my.
if they lost money while they were not here in United States, when they are here, we have to pay them too for retroactive, like a reparation,
Like reparation.
something like that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
All right.
Do they want also a car?
Look, and the retroactive it will be 5 years back. So
Oh,
anyone who was a rapist or a murderer or a sexual abuser for a minor will be reclaimed under his wife or husband for family unity, and he will be granted a new green card
Oh.
under family unity. And then if somebody's like a trafficking, like he was 20 years in jail because he was trafficking, like a human trafficking or drug trafficking or pedophile.
So they want to oversee also the drug trafficking laws?
Yes, all that. And then they will be claiming that as a humanitarian
let me go
purpose.
to Mexico and let me pass through the Mexican border as an illegal to have all that.
Hold on. And then any trafficker will have the right to be claimed by somebody from the family or husband or wife or child under the humanitarian.
And they're trying to pass that law during this period
Yes,
of COVID-19.
while Pelosi is promoting the impeachment
Number
2.0.
They're putting
That's what
this-
they're doing underneath.
Oh my.
Okay?
David,
What do you think?
we laugh out loud because we are right informed. Okay?
No,
And
we
know.
laugh because hopefully when this pass, because I believe it's gonna pass, because the majorities are Democrat. Okay, the majority of the House are Democrat. Democrat are in control. I believe this bill is going to pass, but I hope when it gets to the
Into the
Senate,
Senate, it
it's gonna
dies.
die right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna die right there, and also probably somebody's gonna take it to court too.
Of
To
course.
court. I mean, it's gonna be attacked for everywhere, for every angle. It's gonna be attacked.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bernie Sanders is out.
Yes, and he's like Carmen Sandiego.
How?
In what part of the world he will buy a new house?
Carmen Sandiego. Oh my God. Okay, well, Bernie Sanders is out after he collect so many for 6 years. Yeah, around 6 years he got his page open up for donation.
Okay.
So you can imagine how much money he collect 6 years.
In 6 years.
In
yeah.
6 years. And then suddenly this week, a miracle from the Holy Week. As a Christian, we call it the Holy Week. As the Jews call it the Passover week, right?
Yes.
A miracle happened.
That's how I entitled in the
miracle.
in the Rasi when I said el milagro de Semana Santa.
Yeah, the miracle of Holy Week.
Holy Week.
Okay, so Bernie Sanders out. So, what do you think? Socialism is dead in United States by his getting out, or what is your opinion about that?
I think it's like the Berlin Wall. In 1989, when the Berlin Wall falls, we thought that communism was over. And the only thing that they did was to rebrand.
Okay.
The idea. Now the communists name themselves Socialist Democratic or Democratic Socialist. Okay? But it's the same brand. So if you go to Wikipedia and you look for democratic socialism, it's exactly the same thing that the communists. Okay, and that's why when I designed your campaign, I said that Hank Johnson is a communist. Okay, and if he's a communist, he's a traitor to the United States of America.
Yes,
that's it, because they want to destroy the U.S. Constitution and replace it for another kind of government that has nothing to do with the liberties and the
way of living, the way of being, American. Yeah,
exactly.
It's the way of doing things in America.
Yes,
it's the opposite. It's destroying everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's you believe they're gonna be taking time. Well, Bernie Sanders is old, so he might be a few years.
No,
and,
he's not.
But
he's not old.
No, what is he?
He's ancient.
Ancient. Okay, but he got already pupils. How we used to call back in the days students.
Yes.
He already have pupils.
Yeah.
Behind him, which we have here AOC, we have Ilhan Omar, we have the squad, and we have Hank Johnson, who is his sidekick.
Yes.
So it's urgent for American to understand the importance to take out of the house AOC, to take out of the house Hank Johnson, to kick them out of the house.
Yes.
Do not re-elect them anymore.
No.
They need to get out, as well as Ilhan Omar, as well as Tablet, as well as Ayanna Pressley, because all these people, what they're doing is promoting things that are going against America.
Well,
against America.
This law is very dangerous because you just said that that law wants to supersede even the drug trafficking laws. So that's incredible.
Yes.
And who's behind the drug trafficking in the world? It's Evo Morales, the one that Hank Johnson defend and asked the
Secretary Pompeo.
Exacto. And now he comes with this, and this is coming over with a new twist.
Yes.
Because of the operation and for look and seek these people who right now are in the government in Venezuela, President Maduro, one of them, that are they have to come to United States and go into a court of law and be judged because they already know what the operation of Cartel de los Soles is doing.
And these are HR 5383 reminds me that one that it was promoted 3 years ago with the Venezuelan down south in Florida.
Yes.
They were overpassing the court system and leaving the decision of any Venezuelan to stay in United States, regardless if that Venezuelan committed crime or not, to the Secretary of the State.
Yeah, and
not
after
to the
that,
immigration courts.
and after that decision, nobody can do anything.
Nobody, exactly. So this 5383 is almost the same thing, but like I said, with different color, with different feathers, and different taste.
Yes.
But it's the same
It is
movement. It's the same. It's destroying the system, the core system, to benefit Venezuelan narcos, to
Thugs.
benefit
Yeah.
Bolivian narcos, to benefit
Yep.
Salvadorian narcos, to benefit Mexican narcos, to
Yeah.
benefit Cubans narcos.
Do you have something against Mara Salvatrucha? Do you have something against Mara Salvatrucha?
MSR13?
Yes.
Yes, of course. That would be, if that passed, let's say the Senate decide to pass that laws, that means all those MS-13 will come back to the United States. Those one that
Paying by
President Trump deported already. Remember, he said that he's been deporting a lot of criminals.
Yes.
He's been deporting a lot of criminals. They which would come back here. Okay?
Oh my.
And you can imagine how many crime is going to be, because when they come back here, they're coming with revenge.
Yeah.
With revenge and with
Yes.
venge.
Oh
Okay?
my.
Okay, now we can go to the Venezuelan part, because this HR 5383 will, if it passes, it will, David, it will benefit the Venezuelan situation.
Okay.
That's why Hank Johnson is working hard to pass this bill, because that will help out his commies and his friends, Evo Morales, Maduro, Diosdado Cabello, and all these communists from Latin America.
Okay,
We'll be
it's
back.
1:20, and we're going into our commercial breaks as soon as Mr. David is ready.
The disease of addiction is a life-altering challenge, not just for the person suffering its effects, but also for the family and friends who support and love the one caught in its grasp. What should be the course of treatment? Who is the best person to render treatment? And what is the best place to go for the care that is needed? We know that you want answers to these and many more questions. Call 770-696-9862 and speak to a representative of the Atlanta Healing Center. They can tailor a program specifically designed to address the needs of the person suffering with an addiction, or give you guidance as to where that help may be found. Information is the key, and the trained staff at AHC is here to assist. If you wish, you can also get more information on the website located at www.atlantahealingcenter.com.
Whether cruising the strip in a 57 Chevy or taking the family on a vacation in a 71 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser, you need to tune in to Classic Cars with Steve Ronaldo and Jim Weber every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. on americaswebradio.com.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the americasbroadcastnetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
Okay, I feel like a horse today.
Oh,
Yes.
Well, like
very
I was,
energetic.
like I was saying, that this HR 5383 will help out when it passes.
If it passes.
If it passes all the way to President Trump,
Uh-huh.
because he has to sign it, right?
Yeah, he can veto.
Okay, he can beat it, and the Senate is not gonna allow that,
No.
anyways.
Anyways.
But let's suppose that everybody
but
passes.
they are trying hard to do something, but people right now are more aware what happens in the Hill, and I think the times change. All this thing that the people is at home, many people is getting informed. Many people said, okay, why we get into this? How? How can I protect my family? How can I protect my business?
Yeah.
How can I protect my employees? You know, it's there is a different mentality in everyone. You know, yesterday I went to the supermarket because I do my monthly things the second Wednesday of the month, and it happens that people were so kind. So kind. You know, keeping the separation,
The distance,
the
okay.
distance, allowing the other people to pass by, to do their things. You know, I said
It's like we went back.
we
It's like we went back.
yes.
It used to be like that 5 years ago. And this year, before this coronavirus, people was like rough, like a, you know, like
very rude.
No, now it's like we're going back when it used to be 5 years ago. When I moved here, I said, man, people here are very mannerly, you know, they have manners.
Yes.
They are very educated people. Now we're seeing that back again.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. From a crisis, we're getting back with values, you know, and values is the most important thing for a society. Okay, it's not because of the law say it, it's because your conscience say it. And remember, we're in Passover. Remember what Passover means for the humanity, not only for the Jewish people, but means that freedom, liberty, comes together with a very important word that is responsibility.
Yes, responsibility.
Okay, and responsibility and freedom means law. So the tale of the Passover give us a lot of good lessons that we have to retake now in this time of crisis. Okay, we have to follow the law, not because the law are designed for what? To protect us. Okay, good laws protect the people, bad laws enslave them. So the
Amen.
thing. Okay, so now on all this crisis, there is a new conscience. Everybody is.
Well,
is-
hopefully the Venezuelan people start learning having a new conscience too, because what's going on in Venezuela today is very confusing.
Yes,
And-
they think the Marines are going to invade Venezuela because what Mr. Maduro and Mr. Cabello did. Wrong.
To their people.
Yes, wrong. Absolutely wrong. They are criminals that are wanted by the criminal system in the United States. This is not a political matter. It's a judicial matter. Has to do with the drug trafficking. By the way, only 20% of all the drug trafficking that comes to the United States come from the Caribbean area. Basically, the main area is the Pacific coast. Okay, since the times of when Cartel de Medellín were destroyed. With Pablo Escobar, yes, and Carlos Leder, the routes on the Caribbean were completely destroyed. Not completely destroyed. That's why they are prosecuting Maduro, because they are using some new routes on the Caribbean, and it was because of do you remember the problem with the president's nephew in Dominican Republic?
Yeah,
Okay.
Celia Flores
Nephews.
Yeah.
And after that, they tried to sell 20 tons of coke, and not Coca-Cola, the other Coke. Okay, they want to sell 20 tons to a special agent of the DEA, and
Of course, they didn't know he was from the DEA.
yes, and both of them got busted. They went to
They are in New
jail.
York with the COVID.
Yeah. And now they have that big trouble, but what does the federal government do right now in the Caribbean? They are just checking out that the vessels or the airplanes that comes through Venezuela being checked for the drug trafficking. Fortunately, you know that you are not guilty. You are innocent until proven guilty under our system. So
That's why they need to come here.
Yes.
That's why they need to bring
They
them over
ha-
here,
they have to
so they
come.
can go through the process, and then they need to demonstrate that they are innocent.
Not guilty. Not guilty. No,
Not guilty.
Could be not innocent, but if they demonstrate that their involvement on these operations is because some heavy things. For example, if you don't do this, your family and yourself could be killed. That's something that you have to understand in a country that is a totalitarian regime such as Venezuela. So there are two of the wanted people that already are under the authorities, American authorities watch. Okay. And let's see what happens. But
well, we have some presence of military and navy vessels, aircraft, soldiers, drones.
Yesterday,
what else? A whole.
Yesterday, they sent the scrambled Sukhois from the military base in Barcelona because they want to destroy, seek and destroy one of these drones, the Predators.
The Predator.
The Predator. They wanted to. The Predator was making just a seeking on the area. Okay. And when the Sukhos came near of the Predator, they had a big advertising and said, if you touch the Predator, both of you.
There was a warning.
Yes, both of you could be killed. And they have.
And the Predator has people inside, or
no? The Predator is a drone.
Oh.
It's a drone. It's a remote vehicle. It's not just a drone. It's an airplane that could kill people. Okay, they are armed. They are not just for seeking.
They're armed.
Seeking and destroy.
All right.
Okay, but it's a very, very slow airplane. It's like a Cessna 172 with steroids. Okay, because it has a lot of
steroids.
It has a lot of teeth.
Okay, so he was searching the water.
They were.
Oh, he were exercising.
No.
And
they
then
were checking. They were checking the area.
Okay, and this area was inside Venezuela,
international waters.
Okay, so why Venezuela come outside when international water?
Now we have here a big situation. Venezuela claims national waters of 12 nautical miles from the coast inside the sea.
Oh yeah, but what is the international law?
That's what the international law says.
12 miles.
Yes, but
Nautica.
But there is a exclusion area. That means that even though it's not your territory, it belongs to you for use. Okay, that they claim that is 200 miles inside of the Caribbean.
Okay, hold on. Hold your horses. So, if it's 12 nautical miles, how will that affect, for example, the country Trinidad and Tobago?
They have a big problem.
How Grenada will affect?
That's why there is a lot of problems with that
because they are very close to Venezuela.
That's why they have these problems with the international law, because it's not only Venezuela. It's, for example, Turkey. Turkey is claiming 200 miles inside of the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay.
So that means that they can be have borders with Libya, for example, or Egypt, but you have the island of Crete.
Great.
Okay, that belongs to Cyprus.
Cyprus.
That's the other one. Okay, and that's a very complex problem for states such as Israel. Okay, because You cannot cover.
So how Venezuela define
So they
with
they want,
Aruba, Curacao,
that's-
with Trinidad and Tobago, with Grenada?
that's the problem to define the borders exactly. You cannot define the borders with 200 miles inside of the sea. Okay, so what's going on? That United States do not follow that rule, because it's not it doesn't belong to the international law. Okay, we have the thesis that the national waters are 12 nautical miles inside of the sea, and that's it. Okay, so but many countries want that kind of idea, that 200 miles inside of the sea. Okay, some countries such as Peru or Chile that doesn't have anything in front of them, it's okay. 200 miles is okay, and they have the economic exploitation of anything that is in that part of the ocean. Okay, could be, but when you have a crowded neighborhood such in Venezuela or the Mediterranean Sea, that means trouble. Very big. So, and during this week, it happens a problem with a ship with a Portuguese flag.
Okay.
Okay. It happens that they've been inside of the international waters defined by the United States, but it was into the territorial waters defined by Venezuela. And the Venezuelans took a boat, okay, and they tried to kidnap this
Divert
into Margarita Island. They wanna
into the waters.
Yeah, they wanna took this
Like
this
a pirate,
cruiser
like the same thing the pirates in
Somalia. Yes,
area.
exactly. Let me tell you something. They even shoot warning against this civilian boat.
Okay.
Civilian sea, and it happens that they hit this ship twice with this military boat.
Okay.
Okay, and they get in front of this ship. But do you know something? That boat, that large, is a large cruiser, civilian cruiser. It used to be a boat that they use as cruiser for tourists in the Arctic Sea. So it was a icebreaker. So when the Venezuelan boat get in front of this boat that is very strong in the front part of the boat, well, they only went down.
It broke it in two pieces.
They cracked this ship cracked like an egg, you know.
The military ship broke
in the middle like an egg.
I guess they have survivors.
Yeah, fortunately they were.
And don't tell me the same boat helped them out to save.
No, but
to save them.
No, because they went into life raft. And they were all of them were rescued, but they were so stupid that they even shoot videos when they were shooting against the civil vessel. You know,
they just wanted to kidnap it.
Yes, they wanted to kidnap it.
They wanted to kidnap it.
And this boat went to Curacao. Has to go to the dry dock for repairs.
Maintenance.
For repairs because they hit this boat, you know, but the attitude was to kidnap a civil boat that has a Portuguese flag but belongs to a very well-known.
That's not pirates,
that's piracy. That's by definition is piracy.
That's piracy
in high sea. Okay, that's piracy in high sea. So what they want to do with this boat? Maybe they wanted to use it as a shipping cargo for drugs. You don't know. You don't know. Okay, there are a lot of, for example, there are a lot of airplanes in the United States that disappear here and appears later in Venezuela. Okay, as part of the drug flotilla of airplanes that they are using in.
It's not the same thing in Africa.
That's what happened. That's what I wanna tell you about. I read an inform from the United Nations that said about 3 different airplanes with Venezuelan tail numbers. Okay, that when they reviewed the airplanes, the airplanes had the serial numbers of airplanes that were disappear here in the United States from airports. Okay, reappears in Venezuela. They changed the tail numbers and they went to Africa. Okay, that's the big business that have the cartel of Los Soles. That's the business.
When they get out from Margarita Island,
they take out. They went to the leader islands. You know, these small islands that comes from Trinidad, Tobago, Guadalupe, San Nevis, all those little islands. Okay, these airplanes go into these islands and took the
they take, like, for example, Grenada, San Vincent and Grenadines, Barbados.
And then they
in Barbados.
And suddenly they turn to the east because they take a tailwind that take the airplane to Africa. Okay, and from Africa they put the merchandise in Africa, and in Africa they move the merchandise to Europe. And in Europe they sell the merchandise to Europe, where they sell it in euros.
So they take the plane from those islands and they probably stop in Cape Verde. From Cape Verde go to Senegal.
That's why the
Guinea.
United States, if you shut down the routes in the Caribbean, okay, these airplanes or these boats cannot go through Africa, and you choke the income.
Because I remember one lady, she was a consul in Ghana from Venezuela, and the cartel killed her over there.
Yes.
Because of some drugs.
Yes.
And we're talking Ghana is not even the belly, is underneath.
Yeah.
So they probably have all Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Senegal,
Coast,
Mauritania, West Sahara, Morocco,
and do you know something in the UN informed about the drug dealer in Africa? They know it for sure that the airplanes come from Venezuela because the GPS on the airplane had the register on airports, little airports in Venezuela.
In Venezuela.
Okay, we will be back in just a moment.
A few minutes.
Get your pen and paper ready. If there's a move in your near future, I'm here to tell you that the folks I used and now recommend is Around Town Movers. Timothy and the guys recently moved me, and I am and was totally satisfied with a sometimes not so fun experience moving. Call Timothy at 770-378-4708 and make it a good move and a good experience. Around Town Movers for that local or cross-country move. Timothy, Around Town Movers, in my opinion, are the best. That's Around Town Movers. Call them.
If your health insurance premium is more than your mortgage, Ellen Deal with Ideal Solutions is here to help. Whether you're a small business owner, individual, family, or baby boomer, email MAGA45CAG@gmail.com and I'll respond with 3 easy questions to help you determine if you can get away from Obamacare. As a 20-year veteran of the insurance industry, I'm here to help with all your insurance needs. Email Ellen Deal at MAGA45CAG@gmail.com.
My name is Kyle Hayes, a motorsports student at Alfred State College. Every year, Alfred State students compete in the Great Race, which is a cross-country time endurance rally for vintage vehicles. As you can imagine, it's pretty costly. I'm asking for your help. Your donation can make it possible for these students to live their passion and promote the vintage automobile industry. Please visit our site at give.alfredstate.edu and search Great Race to learn more and help us reach our goal. Thank you.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And this is America's Web Radio, the favorite web radio in English in the world. Yes.
Yes.
Well, Mr. David, you are an expert on history. Okay. What happened in Japan after the World War II? When the Americans came to Japan and Japan were surrendered by the United States in the signage of that thing. Who came into power in Japan? Was Douglas MacArthur, isn't he?
Okay, one of the first things they did, they turned it into a capitalistic country, and my dad, as a matter of fact, helped set up Radio Tokyo right after the war, and this was a capitalistic type thing of being able to communicate, and
the legend has a pedigree. I told you, my friends.
Okay,
so basically, when the United States intervene into another country, it happens during 1898 during the Spanish-American War. It happens in World War II when they took over Japan. Okay. Basically, what the American government does when these countries have no a real government, they have to set up a new government in a different way, and the basic way is to bring a governor, an American governor, to that place and reorganize the whole society.
And you know what it's called?
How it's called?
How it's called?
It's in the military, and I served in a unit called a Civil Affairs Unit, and it has everything from your quote-unquote sitting mayor up and down the gambit. It has the water commissioner. But it's a Civil Affairs Unit that goes in and sets up a local government, and that's what our Army has, and I served in the 310th Civil Affairs Unit. They disbanded the Civil Affairs in the Army until the Middle East, and when we went into Syria and we've gone into Afghanistan and so forth.
They reactivated
the not my unit, but they reactivated the Civil Affairs because they saw that they were going to literally destroy cities, and like in World War II in Japan, when they would destroy obviously Hiroshima and Nagasaki and all that, they had to set up some kind of. If you don't have some kind of government, you got chaos, and they couldn't have elections or anything. They didn't even know what elections were. So the Army went in and they had everybody a structure of the city, and that's what they did.
Okay, but you don't have any kind of junta de gobierno, like a committee from the from the invaded country that has they are the ones who wants to control and let's make the elections
right away and all
right
that.
away. No, it's an American governor, the one who will be reorganize the government and all the stuff, isn't it?
Well, there's an old saying, and I respect what you're asking, but there's an old saying, to the victor goes the spoils. So to the victor went the responsibility of setting up a government, and we were somewhere in the world in history at some point, maybe, the world will realize we're the fairest people going, and we didn't how much land. Well, in fact, Colin Powell pointed this out. The only land we've ever asked for was to bury our dead.
Yes.
And we've never conquered any country and taken over. Now, by the same token, when we went in as civil affairs units, it wasn't to take over or enslave or anything like this, but you have to have somebody in charge of the water, the sewer, whatever.
But not only that,
to be.
David. Not only that, David. We, the taxpayer, are going to be paying for that.
Yeah,
It's not free.
No,
it's not free. So, if I want the Americans come and help us out to remove this narco regime, but otherwise, America decided to do it because it's in America's benefit. It's in America's protection. It's in American national security.
Best interest.
Yes.
Best interest. It's not because Josita, who's living in another country, she's suffering and she's hungry. No, it don't have nothing to do with that. It's because it's the best interest for America. And on March 26th, when the Department of Justice declared Nicolas and this guy as a threat to America's national security. Okay,
but
then we go over there and we spend the money.
Yeah, but the DOJ sue, okay, the accusations is basically on drug trafficking.
Exactly.
That's the point. It's not even the Trump administration. It's based on a basic situation. They know, and you and me came from the forum of the security of the Western Hemisphere 2 years ago. Okay. We know exactly where are the bank accounts, the routes, everything. But now they have tangible evidence and proof that these people, Diosdado Cabello and President Maduro, they are directly involved in drug trafficking. Okay, and they get a lot of money from the drug trafficking in the United States and Europe. So it's a matter of national security, yes, but the accusations came from the Department of Justice.
Okay.
They wanted to. They are wanted as criminal people, not as a matter of policy. And that's one of the big mistakes. Some Venezuelans think, no, the Marines will be here in 2 weeks and they will remove Nicolas and Mr. Cabello. No, it won't work in that.
But not only that. Okay. The Americans, we the America, are paying for all those expenses. It comes out of our taxes.
And it's very expensive.
It's very expensive to go over there and do. I mean, even sending a drone, like you say.
Yes.
It's expensive. Okay, it will cost us, the American, a lot of money to just catch those two guys.
Not arguing with you, but we have a show on called Agent in Charge. And this was his thing. Was he was on the Texas border handling the drug cartels from Mexico and everything else. But I don't, and even on his show yesterday, I guess it was, he was talking about the fact that I don't think, you said the Department of Justice, I don't think they would be it would be under Homeland Security and the DEA or
Yes.
one of the departments in there, as opposed to the Department of Justice, because the Department of Justice is, from what Sandy was saying, or other agencies are limited to the U.S. borders, and even though there are drugs coming in, they can't do anything until they're on our land. They can't say, but now the Homeland Security and under the different agencies, and God knows they have. In fact, I got very upset yesterday when he was doing his show, in that he was talking about the fact that, you know, your girlfriend Pelosi and all the rest of them, you know, they have their annual budgets and all of this kind of stuff. And he was telling the story about when one of the times that he was in the middle of an investigation, and they always want all the proof. They want everything that you can get. Department of Justice does, that you have a good case. And so he was working on a case, and his fiscal budget ran out. And it was like, you know, he's driving down the road and ran out of gas, and where does he get the money? He literally had to take time out of his investigation to go and get money to finish up what he was doing. And, you know, in my head, he should have had a blank credit card that says, you know, you do what you got to do, and if we've trusted you with this, then certainly we can trust you with that. But this is a situation that they run out of money, and they have to stop what they're doing to go find a money source.
But do you know why drug dealing is a matter of American security?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know why drug dealing is a matter of American security?
Sure.
It happens in the early 80s. Before in the 70s, whatever, dope or cocaine or whatever, these drugs, the market was very small, and it was very exclusive. So that kind of dealing was nobody cares about that. But in 1982, Carlos Leder, that was the founder of Cartel de Medellin, he was the pilot. He was the guy who transport actually the drugs from Colombia up to the Bahamas. He said that the cocaine and the soft drugs such as cocaine is the atomic bomb against the American imperialism in Latin America. And remember that at that time Ronald Reagan was the president. So the drug dealing convert from a secondary
misdemeanor,
almost a misdemeanor, into a matter of national security, because they know that the Castro regime in Cuba and Noriega's regime in Panama were heavily involved on that thing. And remember, at that time, Panama Canal was one of the strategic zones for the United States. So they said, this is bigger than we thought. So from that date on, drug dealing is a matter of national security. So when the Department of Justice accused Mr. Maduro and Mr. Cabello to be drug dealers, they passed to be just drug dealers into national security matters. That's why in Panama was invaded by the United States and the Noriega's times, and he was arrested by the DEA. But we used our armed force to bring this guy to justice, because it's a matter of national security. That's why drug dealer is so delicate right now, because they consider that. Well, time's over.
Time's over. We got to start speaking Spanish. So
thank you very much.
Thank you. See you next week.
Perhaps you are struggling to cope with the disease